Okay, some of my videos might be a little bit redundant here, but let's take this actual model and evaluate and put in some audit tests. So this is just going to be a review of some of the audit tests, and I think I had some ideas for kind of some different, a little more creative audit tests. Now, I suggest that in this column, we've got very few things. So I'm going to cheat, and I'm going to make this column a little wider, and somewhere up here we can put audits. Okay, and then let's start with, let's see how many of these columns we can evaluate. So the first thing is just counting the numbers. Now if you put equal countif, I'm sure I've done this a lot with some of the others, and then you put a comma true, it'll count how many things we have, and this should be equal to the months of the development in the operating assumptions. Okay, and then if we've got something called a pre-commercial, so we could do the same thing, countif, and I think a lot of the comma true, and then this one will be the development plus the months of construction. Okay, and then we can put the financial closure switch. I guess, how could we put this one? It's almost worthless putting this one, but let's just make sure we have at least one thing assigned. So maybe we could put countif. That's not a very good one. Could almost do the same thing. We should put well, let's use a countif again. This one better be equal to 1. Whoops. And then I need the comma true. Start of construction, we can do the same thing. Construction phase switch, countif. We better have this to be the same number of the construction months. Okay, and then end of construction. If we want that, we can take the same one here. Is this getting too boring? Commercial operation date, the same one. COD -1, maybe the same one. That's a trickier one. Post COD, I don't know why we really need that switch, but this, post COD, see, we have a false here. And why do we have a false? Okay. And we over here. Oh, this is just a post COD. This is, I'm not even going to put one here. I don't know why I'd want this one. Operation phase switch, we could put countif and select all of these, and whoops, comma true. This time, since this is in 6 months periods, we'll have to put the PPA term ×2. There we go. End of the PPA is the same one. And then, oops. Okay, maybe this, we never got to the end of the PPA. Okay, well, I'll let this one get by. I'm gonna, USD debt repayment would be countif. This is really, I'm kind of going overboard on this, equals, and then we can go to our financing worksheet and find how much the PPA term, we put it here for the term times 2. Okay, enough of that. And same thing with this one. And now what we'll do, why don't we do this? We'll put our, where's our tenor here? Come on. Oh, that's other debt terms. Times 2. Okay, so we have our first ones. Let's make Shift F11. Let's make an audit sheet. And you know what you'll do then is, okay, we'll put it here. We'll just start with all of these things. Okay, so we'll make it as easy and be as lazy as we possibly can. And then let's see if we can come up and be a little more creative with some of our other tests. Okay, so we'll just put this to the financing worksheet. Okay, and this, we didn't have one for this one. Control minus. Okay. Let me pause for a minute, think about the next one. Okay, I'm going to try to do this quickly. Once we are finished with the timing checks, the next section of the model, now maybe this is more important than all the checks itself, is I think having a section where you put the summary, sources, and uses of funds statement is so essential. Now you can check this summary statement against the aggregate funding needs. So we could put a little check that says, well, does our development cost equal the development expenditure that we put in our summary? Okay, and then does our capex equal the capex in our summary sheet? Okay, and I have to do some more of that. So I'll skip over that. We'll come back to here, and then when we get to the debt, does our debt equal the, suppose what we could do is put the two debt facilities. We have a U.S. tranche plus the Indonesian tranche. Does that all equal? Okay, and then does this equal the USD tranche? Okay, and blah blah blah. Okay, does this equal the Indonesian tranche? Okay, you can see that I am about to say something that's not true. You know, you can't do this on every sheet, on everything. Now when we get to this development expenditure, we can see, well, does this one equal the amount we had in our operating model where we put some development cost in? Okay, and check the rest of these. And then when we get into this one, what is it again? This, I forgot what this stuff is. Equity value. Let's go with project cost. That's the grant. Okay, we can check that this one equals the total cost here minus the grant. Okay, and we can go to the equity value and make sure that our total equity equals our targeted equity that we put in our sources and uses statement. Kind of just talking to myself and making these up as we go along. This equity commitment should be equal to equity commitment down here, and maybe, I hope this is just a rounding thing. Oh, this is 895. Huh. This one should equal okay, so let's do it like this. This minus this, and we have to put a round of that, comma 0 equals 0. And then the total funding needs, we can, these maybe should be moved. We should put kind of our totals, Shift Control 7 if you want to put this in. Okay, Control R to get that. So these, we have the total funding needs. Well, this better equal the total funding needs that we had up here. Okay. And this one better equal the total equity plus the total grant, whatever we had. Where did we put the grant? Okay. I have to put it here. Oops. I don't know what that is. Okay, well, whatever. And now let's get into something more interesting. Now let's leave the sources and uses out. I suppose we could put one more test here. That's enough. And then we have the debt tranche. And let's see some tests you have on the debt tranche. Well, this sum of all the draws better equal to our fixed thing here. Okay, and this, because it's a we might have a little bit of difference, so we'll put a round. Okay, and how about comma 3? Okay, and then I think we better make sure that the balance of the debt, the closing balance here, it says check of balance. We don't really need that anymore, but this closing balance at the financial close better be equal to 0. So we can use, instead of a COUNTIF, let's use a SUMIF. And this time, let's look, did I say I meant commercial operation date? So we can find the, where's our commercial operation date? That's 21. Okay, I hope this sum doesn't screw it up. It might give us comma true. When that's true, then the I think that test will just screw it up. Shit. We could test the closing balance itself. Do we get a circular reference? Shit. Just a minute. Let me. Okay. All we have to do is put it down one below, and debt check. Okay, and then what we'll have to do is a tedious thing where we get all this, and then when we put our what else could we check? Let me see. It's kind of nice to put all these things over here so we can check that our fees and everything else are okay. Did I not put this? Just a minute. Let me stop this. I put some. I hadn't put some interest in, but you know what we should really check is, one of the important checks is to make sure our function is equal to our computed. Okay, and again, this is one where we'll have to put a round and put a minus, and we'll put comma 0 equals 0. So we're, round L15, 217. computed 6:15. Uh-oh, I've got a difference. Ah, crap. Okay, I'm gonna go and fix it. And then, you know, let's just, and this should be in this column. Okay, and when we finally finish it all up, we should put a SUMIF test on the ending balance. And the most important test of all is down here at the end, where we check we have a difference between our assets and our liabilities, and we put a round, and you put a comma 0, and you can make that equal to 0, and don't make it comma 0, make it comma 3 or something. Shift Control R. Okay, and I think I've probably got a problem here. Yep, because of that thing. And when that balance sheet, and then put a and around this one. Okay, and we should have done the same thing. And then let's put this balance sheet test. Okay, and now when we go through, I'm so pissed about the function not working. Just a minute. And when we go through all of this, eventually, I've shown you this before, but maybe it's a good time to review it. You can put, if this is true, then just put nothing, otherwise put this in, and you can go down as many times as you like. Now what we're going to have is, okay, let's just pretend this is true. Okay, and then eventually we'll have an aggregate test, and we'll check that these are all trues. And then what we can do here is go and make another function. This is half the reason I'm showing you this. I know I've showed you this before, but on this function, we'll put a add text, because the stupid Excel doesn't have it. Maybe the new one does, but we put for I equal 1 to series count, and you should be, you know, when you do this a few times, it's almost as fast as, actually it should be faster if you had a, then, and we'll put series I, okay, and then we can just quickly, if we, let's say this is false just for a minute, okay, and this is false, and certainly our balance sheet test would be false. We could put add text and just shade them all, and it tells you where we went wrong. And we can put, if the aggregate test is false, then we should use this. Otherwise, we can put model okay. Alright. And I think we could put even a conditional formatting around that, but I'll do that just a little bit later. Okay, I'm going to stop with this one. This was too boring of a video. Okay.